Hello, everyone, and welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LotroStream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/Lotro. Thanks so much for being here. I am the community manager for Standing Stone Games, Cordovan. Here on a Friday, it's feeling pretty fall-like out there, nice and cool in New England. Hope you are having a good weekend. We did some stuff this week, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that, and I'm also going to be doing a particularly fun kind of instance in that in the Mines of Moria. I will also do some Q&A and have a little bit about what's going on. So, how you doing, everybody? And also, let me say, how are you doing, Druid's Fire?
You remembered I existed. Oh my god.
Yeah, there you go. So what have you been up to?
I went to Dragon Con last weekend and wound up running a panel for the first time in 20 years I've been attending Dragon Con because the person who was supposed to run the panel wasn't there, and I'm not sure why, but yay. So I got to talk about how awesome it was to be on a stream team and how to get on Twitch and do all those other fun things.
Cool. Let me get for some reason my... Oh, hey, that's because... I updated the game client here, by the way, folks, from the last stream. So hopefully some of these technical issues that have been plaguing the stream in recent weeks should hopefully be taken care of. I did a little bit of kind of actual work to get things done. Fun fact, 32-bit and 64-bit client operate under different game sources in XSplit. So there we are.
But you didn't know that?
I guess I hadn't really actually gone through that enough to know. I must have done it at one point on the 64-bit or not. So we are just going to destroy the gift of the Gorothul and Lumilnar. And my understanding is, in order to do that, we are not taking a stable master, but we are instead going where?
We are going to Zerg-Ziggle.
Yeah.
Because there
All
isn't
right,
a
lead on then.
there.
Let's do this. There is swift
Yellow.
travel, though. You can get there from, like I said, the Chamber of the Crossroads, and then it's either Dolvenview?
Oh,
like
shut up and ride.
So, but you can't. I know, because I did it recently. Hey, haven't seen me live in like a month or more? Yeah, Lena, I agree. It's been quite the summer. My Fridays have been busy, but things are calming down now, and so I should be back for a little while here. The big piece of news, of course, is that the Rise of Isengard has arrived on the Legendary Worlds. That happened yesterday. So that's pretty cool. Level cap increase and a whole bunch of other stuff. You can check out the release notes over on lotro.com. The other big piece of news is the thing I'm wearing. We are giving out a special VIP gift for those who log in as a VIP between now and the end of September. If you do that, you'll get an item called the Item of the Isengard Dispeller in your inventory. And you'll click on it, and you will get a whole bunch of stuff that kind of looks like this on my dwarf. You can also, I have a little clipping issue with my kind of back drum on this particular avatar and character, the character cosmetic outfit UI. But in general, you can see how it looks on your character. There's both a hooded and non-hooded version, and it's basically kind of a retweaking of the old Rise of Isengard exclusive cosmetic with, in terms of the shape, and then we redid the coloration and the iconography in order to be able to bring it to you. So that's available for free. If you're VIP, just log in between now and the end of September. It'll get flagged in your account, and you'll probably get more of them than you ever want to know, but nonetheless, it will be available on all your characters in perpetuity. But that's pretty cool. And of course it's blue, so, you know, I was thinking you'd dig it.
Well, of course I do.
Yep.
We are, of course, going to die because we're doing this on the group setting.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Well, alright then.
Should be fun though.
So those are the two big pieces of news. I will say that we are working on what so far appears to be perhaps pretty small hotfix. I don't have an ETA per se to announce, although it would not surprise me if we had something to say maybe kind of middle of next week, something like that. And so far there are two kind of drivers toward that. One is a German localization issue where unfortunately due to a process issue that keeps coming back a little bit, there's some missing descriptions in the German game client, so we're going to be working on that. The other piece that we'll be working on is to return the legendary items vendors on the legendary worlds only and back into an on state. They were giving some improper barter trades at the very start when we opened things up, and so we had to take some pretty quick action on that to try to resolve it. So
to bring life back to the gardens of Moria, the Iron Hill garrison has crafted great mirrors and placed them upon the pinnacle of Xeroxigil. The light has failed, however.
Xeroxigil.
Seek to learn why their mirrors do not reflect it as they once did.
Well, I call it Xeroxigil. Just like them Tolkiens would have said. I imagine this is a bad quest for people who are sensitive to the sound of your breaking bones.
Probably.
Can we just hit him from up here?
I can.
I can too.
Until you get them under the ledge.
Someone is asking in chat if you know how to turn the mirrors right.
I do.
Oh my gosh. Well, we just got trounced. Maybe we shouldn't do this one, huh? You weren't kidding. All right. Yeah. Oh, death prevention. I'm not involved in a kind of a new Palantir application process that's going on really with existing Palantir members for the moment. But they'll get back in touch with you. We're kind of using a new onboarding tool and doing a little bit of a data refresh and stuff. So we'll have more to say publicly on that as we get closer to actually doing like some kind of public application process. But for now, we were doing kind of an early test on some existing members of the system and get them in and all that sort of thing. So
Alright, we're gonna do the group on the right.
You
first.
in Twitch chat had said, when do I hear back? And you will hear back through the email you provided by someone other than myself. Alright, so what are we going to do to not die this time?
One group at a time, maybe?
Alright.
Gonna wait for the matron to pace away, and then we're gonna hit this guy over here to the right of the matron.
Oops.
Up behind you.
There's not much I can do about it. Other than die. Oops. F2. There we go. Much better. Much better. Tonight, Landreval, 9 p.m. Eastern, the Warders playing music in the Evening of Queen at the Bywater Bridge in Hoppeton. You can catch it on Twitch, which is Hoppa_Joel. That's HOPPA_JOEL. and join for a dance or sing along if you know the words tonight. Friday, Friday, Friday on Landreval, 9 p.m. Eastern. Be there. I don't really have much further to say about the Universal Toolkit. It's a tool that we rolled out this week. We're taking your feedback on it. That's really about all I have to say on that at this point. But appreciate your opinion there, Chromite. Any thoughts on updating VIP monthly rewards? We're always looking to add value to VIP. You know, Legendary Worlds is probably the last one I can think of. Oops. I don't know. Wow, these things hit hard.
Well, we're doing it under the Small Fellowship thing.
Well, can we do it not under the Small Fellowship thing?
I think we have to do the other version of the quest.
The other version of the quest.
Yeah, the solo version.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe there's some people who want to join us, so we can just group this in. What's the small group size? 3?
Generally 3, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we should be able to do this. But you're just getting slammed to the ground, so...
Yeah, we do need a tank.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody on Landreval in the mid-60 range want to come join us? High 50s? Very high 50s.
I'm back on the bottom there. Thanks for the VIP gift. Please make it dyeable. Please fix the animations for cloaks when the character sits on a war steed. It is not meant to be dyeable. Perhaps that should be mentioned. Let me actually persist my sound. That's what's bugging me. At least I think I don't have it persisting. Yeah.
Speaking of sound, I noticed we have the new sound libraries.
That's right. That was a technical change that was done by our engineering team. And that fixes really some sound issues that people have been having and improves, my understanding, at least this way it's described to me, is it improves, before we do this fight, let me talk about this. It improves the 5.1 surround and that your 32-bit systems might have. Now, there are certain sound cards, like higher-end sound cards, that actually use kind of hardware-based stuff that may no longer be being used by Lotro, because instead it's going to be using a software solution. We moved to OpenAL soft, if you know what that is. And it is much better in terms of compatibility and issues and all sorts of things. But it does mean that a few cards are going to lose maybe some of the bells and whistles that they had been used to, while people who had not been able to access certain bells and whistles now can. So kind of a trade-off there, but it ultimately is a much more modern, stable, supported platform that will work for much more things. And there's no real difference on your end. In the past, where in the sound UI you'd see generic software, now there should be something along the lines of OpenAL soft or something like that. Yeah, here we go. OpenAL soft on speakers instead of generic software on speakers, parentheses, whatever device you're actually using. So that's the only real difference there. But if you do notice a slight sound difference and you're like, what's up with that? That's what's up with that. So.
gonna take the one on the right. The one on the left should hopefully get caught in the trap.
All right, sounds good.
We really should just be doing the solo version of this, because I'm getting wrecked.
Let me try to keep you alive then. Focus a little bit more just to heal bot. See if that'll help.
Here's the part where we all die.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, heal better.
Hey, I only got 247,000 morale left to go. I'm sure it'll be no problem.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. Alright, this is ridiculous. Let's do something else. This ain't working.
I'm gonna go get the solo version of the quest.
We have the two best kiting classes of the game there. Thankfully, we also have the best kiter in the game. Not to brag, but no, actually, we don't. Yeah. I think problem lies between keyboard and whatever. Problem lies between brain and keyboard.
Definitely pepcac error.
Yeah. Will you get this cosmetic if you decide to become VIP today? Yes, absolutely. You know, these mirror puzzles solo first time, why don't we don't actually have to do this because we have book 9 forward as an option too. Maybe we
Yeah,
should
I
just
mean,
do
we can
that.
skip the rest of book 8 if you wanted to.
Well, I just don't want to have a bad show, and I don't want to have to be worrying about getting lost in mirror puzzles during the final 40 minutes of this episode.
It's your show, your call.
Yeah, so we're going to talk to Braglin at Imlid Lathe on the
Yep,
shores
and
of
I can
Anduin.
port us there.
Okay. So there has been a recent thread which has been pretty critical of me and my show and all that sort of thing. And
Oh, I know.
I don't really
I've
want
read it.
to get too much in it other than to just kind of say, hey, I hear you, dude. And I didn't get ported or anything.
Again.
Yeah.
Do you still not have rep with Kira Scalathon? Gosh darn it.
Guess not.
Okay. Go to the 21st and we'll ride out. If we had a guardian, we could summon a guardian too. Or we had a Cappy could summon you.
Yep.
Too bad I don't. My Cappy's only.
May Durin return soon to his halls.
I think, actually, if I recall correctly, there's a quest you wind up doing for Haldir, and once you get done with that quest, you then get the ability to get into
Okay.
Scalathon.
Not particularly relevant right now, but that's okay. So where specifically am I going in Lothlorien? Do you know?
Basically, we're going to the river, which is the far other end of the Lorien zone. So the closest we can get there is to go to the first hall and then just ride. So it'll be like 20 minutes of riding. Not that much.
Can't we just swift travel using the collection panel somewhere?
Yeah, the closest you can get is to outside Kira Scalathon.
Yeah. All right.
You have Mr. Infinite Mithril Coin.
Yeah. Outside Kiris Gal. Okay, that's where I am. Where are you on this map?
I'm still in Morio because
Oh,
I
okay.
don't have swift travel. So.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I see it.
So, lesson to learn is if you get a quest that gives you a solo or a group option, always take solo.
I figured I
Even
took
if
the
you
group
were gonna
because of
do
the
it-
show here, right? So.
Well, I mean, hilarity
Yeah.
did ensue, but you actually want to get some stuff done, don't you?
No, I mean, because I figured I would not be solo.
Well, in the way this game works is solo can generally be duoed. If you ever look at the epic battle panel, your choices will be solo / duo, and then like 6-man as well.
I don't know, I was thinking about the proper difficulty and stuff.
Yep. Well, in this particular case, group means unless you are like uber geared and uber qualified with your class, you're not going to be going duo on a group op normally.
Darnolf basically wants all mounts to have an account-wide unlock. Some of them do not. Unfortunately, I'm the bearer of bad news here today. We have no plans to sort of, that I'm aware of, to do any kind of swap to account-wide unlocks for people. And I'm not actually sure that we have any real plans to do any unlock changes that other than we've already done. Although we're not entirely opposed depending, but
I think Scenario has run through part of Lorien because there's a crap ton more trees here than there were the last time I ran through here just a couple weeks ago. Or else I'm just misremembering. Also very likely. And there's apparently a frequently asked question in chat. I've seen it like 5 times. Minas Morgul on Bulroar? Question? When? I get to ask all the fun questions. On behalf of the community.
as soon as I have something to say, I will let you know. I assure you. That day is not today, however.
That day is not. There's like all these pine trees. It feels like Bob Ross just ran through here and just threw down a bunch of happy little accidents. Speaking of mounts and account-wide stuff, I do know there has been a big request. I am one of these people for the Hobbit racial steed, the Steed of Mickle Delving, to be added to the store account-wide because right now it is not, and it's the only of the 4 racial steeds that isn't. So there's a big request from my end of things. I know a lot of other people want to.
Mind my words, traveler. Will you lend me your ear? Might you spare a moment of your time?
Alright, so I'm over by the Malandrim Dream Soldiers.
Yep. You went across the
Maldream.
river.
Yep, there we go.
Malathrim.
Malathrim?
Yeah,
Okay.
the DH is more of a sound. That's just part of the problem is that the Lorien zone is such a long zone. That unless you've got a war seat, it does take a while to get from point A to point B. Wait, why am I running this whole way? I could have just put it back.
We have Hobnanigans on at the moment. Can you die doing Hobnanigans? Is it
I'm sure I could find a way to
technically
do it.
possible to do? I bet there is a way to make it happen. Yeah. Yeah, someone posted a Moobot link to Fibro Jedi's Farmer's Fair Guide. I guess we should probably mention that's ending pretty soon. When that's actually real soon, isn't it? On the Farmer's Fair? I think this is the
believe so.
final weekend, I think. Is that
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
If only we had an events calendar that you could look at that's
Yeah, I
linked
just don't have
and
it called up
express
right
for
now.
events. I know. Because you're waiting on me. Sorry.
Yep.
Eat barrow brie. Oh, Hologrow. You know, I'm mean to Cordovan, but I'm not that mean. So as a minstrel, you could heal yourself through the barrow brie. I had a beautiful captain once just sit around for 20 minutes while the cooldown was going on, and healed my my other hunter over on Kirk Hollow through it. It was funny.
Cool.
Yiki says I should be mean. I don't know, Yiki.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think there's enough meanness in the world. We don't need to
There is
contribute
that.
to it. So anyway, I guess what I would say though about the show is I hear you. I do intend to be making some adjustments to the show in the coming weeks. Hopefully people will dig it. What I am not going to do, however, putting on the Sursbur's hat for a second, what I'm not going to do, however, is try to chase making every single player in the game happy with my live stream, nor the quality of my gameplay therein. But what I would like to do is have a show that people could tune in quickly at the front, get the latest news, and then pop out if they don't want to stick around to that. And that's one of the things I'm going to try to be a little bit better about is, unlike today, be ready to hop right into the zone or whatever when we get started, talk more quickly about the news, and just pick up the pace quite a bit more. So that's on my short-term agenda here.
Okay, I got the quest. You got the quest?
I'm also seriously considering Valoring up and all that sort of thing. One of the things that I thought was a little bit interesting in that thread is that one of the very people who was harshly criticizing me for not playing high-level endgame stuff has also criticized me for wanting to use a Valar to get there. So
it's damned if you do and damned if you don't.
yeah, a little bit. Like I say, I cannot make everyone happy, unfortunately, but I do take that criticism to heart. This is your show as much as it is mine, and I want to make sure that I'm doing what you want me to do. So, that
You're
involves
also
some
not a
changes, I
monkey.
think, here in the coming weeks to streamline the show, improve the quality of it. I did some work overnight here. Like I said, I got a new game client going, so technical issues should be largely taken care of. I worked on XSplit to get the quality of our XSplit stuff hopefully working and sounding better. And then hopefully in the near future we'll be able to have a more streamlined and just kind of interesting experience here for you to take part in. And if all you want to do is just kind of get the latest news, you can tune in for the first 5-10 minutes, then tune out if you want. That's the goal. So.
Okay, this quest that we're going to do first is a timed quest. We got to stand here, kill all the dudes until the timer's. And there are actually a lot of streamers do high-end stuff. I will not be doing high-end stuff on my show because I'm getting caught up on the bingo boffin thing before Maid of Lions reaches through the internet and murders me from Massachusetts.
Nice.
Except he's like the nicest guy and wouldn't hurt a flea.
Yeah. I actually am very much considering changing which class I play on the stream here, though. My current thinking is Runekeeper.
Runekeeper's a fun class.
It's a fun class. I've been enjoying it on sort of with some of my kinmates. And also, frankly, Runekeeper... Oh, did we know if Runekeeper is being worked on? Vassen is doing some Runekeeper work. No big surprise there, but it may-ish be it next?
We'll just
Next-ish?
stand here by the door and kill things for the next 3 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, that is the likely scenario, is that Runekeeper stuff will be here at the very least sooner rather than later. And so it might be a good time to kind of be showing the Runekeeper off on stream a bit.
Yeah, I've actually been playing Runekeeper on Sapiens's personal channel because he streams Lojo Thursday nights, and Been a heck of a lot of fun. We've been doing old content because he's forgotten like everything from the past 5 years, pretty much. And it's actually, you know, people complain about, oh, you don't know your class. To you, he's forgotten. Plus, he doesn't listen to me. He's worse about it than you are. Because we're also not on Discord while he's streaming, so I can't tell him, hey, we need to go this way. And if I say it in Fellowship chat, he doesn't see it until like 5 minutes later.
Nice. Yep.
We were hanging out in Evendim, and so he remembered that we taught him about the awesomeness of Lake Everest.
Yeah, but you know what? You take a break from stuff for a while for whatever reason, and that stuff, especially if you play a lot of video games, that stuff tends to go away. I actually had kind of an off-topic related version of that. I've been playing this kind of minor racing game I'm not going to talk about on air here, and having a really good time with it. And I happen to, whatever reason, just the mix of the controls and the feel of the game and all that sort of thing. Frankly, I'm really good at it, to the point that I might be getting the platinum on it, and even though it's got a platinum completion rate of like 1.5%. So hey, for whatever reason, it's just this particular game is just clicking for me, and I'm just tearing through it really well. And it led me to think about my old school days, about what, quote, what video game am I best at? I mean, best
Mario
as
Kart?
in, no, not at all. I mean, I'm not terrible at Mario Kart, but you put me in online matches against, like, people who really know Mario Kart, they'll just destroy me.
Well, that's like the last time you and I played Mario Kart like a year ago, you destroyed me because I'm not very good at Mario Kart.
I would say I'm above average on Mario Kart, but I'm definitely not, like, super good. What I am, however, at least I was, super duper good at, was an old game from the 90s, probably, frankly, one of the best games that came out for the PlayStation. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Oh my god.
If anybody knows Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, it was a very deep game, actually, with a lot of mechanics in it, and I got so gosh darn good at this game. I 100%ed everything. I even unlocked the Spider-Man costume. That's how good I was at that game. And so I think when I came back, you know, when I had this conversation recently, I was thinking, like, well, what game am I, quote, best at? I think it might have been, back in the day, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. So, of course, you know, you bring the game out, you see, like, well, okay, let's see if I can still remember it. The answer is no. Even though at one point I just basically tore through 100%ing everything in that game with my eyes closed, it's been so long that you just completely lose it, you know? So... I have heard about the fishing quest. This is now, what, the second year in a row now that I've heard about the fishing quest in the Farmer's Fair being on a poor timer of 24 hours instead of the regular thing. And that makes it difficult to near impossible to complete. I've also heard, just in general, issues with completion on that thing, so... all I could say is I can pass that info along again.
Are you beating up on the supply crates as well?
No.
Because you should get a quest for it.
Fine. I will destroy you, supply crates.
Yeah, I think the concern with the very fishy quest is not the timer, but how difficult it is. Like, the actual odds of success or whatever.
But I've also heard that the timer is wrong. Or not necessarily wrong, but different from expected behavior based on similar timers of its ilk.
Like the Lucky Duck one.
Yeah.
I got the Lucky Duck on my main of this past festival. And that was like the first time. And no mithril coins needed.
Thankfully, we don't have anyone who cares very deeply about fishing in Lotro. Oh, wait! Sorry.
Yeah, whereas Fibro Jedi just started a new starter fishing guide, and Big Ed Mustafa will look at you disappointingly from Nebraska later this evening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get one of two for the Tagash War
I
Leaders
did.
on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this should be my last crate. There you go. There's a warrior, but I think the leader's over around the corner, right? Nope, that's a
He's
rider.
up the hill.
Yeah.
He's up the hill, or we can wait for this one to respawn, but yeah.
I know there is a discussion happening on Palantir about that Fasten is doing on some of the kind of Runekeeper stuff. So that should hopefully kind of hit the, regular worlds, as it were, in the relatively near future. I would think. Yep, there's our other war leader. And that should be the end of it. Alright, now we're going back to...
Back to the camp.
Ekid Syrian?
Yeah, Akkad Syrian.
Yep.
Might as well just ride out and run past the mobs.
Alright. Give me a second to catch up with you.
No! Run! Run as fast as you can.
Any news about the next class update? Like I say, I hesitate to overly weigh classwork, because what ends up happening is people get disappointed because they're like, you promised that Runekeepers all problems would be forever fixed, etc. And that's just not the case. We are doing work across all classes at all times to various degrees. So to say that the next class is already pretty
How can I be of
incomplete.
How can I be of service?
But
How can I be of
that
service?
said, I would expect Runekeeper to be, if not the
Will you lend me your ear?
next among the next,
Stay
that
a
would be
moment.
coming out.
Will you lend me your ear?
All right, let me move on over to a couple of the other chats. Will the champion class become a favored class for endgame stuff ever again? I would say the odds of that are probably likely. At some point in the future, the meta will turn back around to captains, I would assume. Or champions. But, yep. Alright, so we're basically just kind of doing some farming in the woods here, right?
Yeah, to progress, we have to do the 3 forward quests.
Yeah.
And we'll kill a whole bunch of other things. There are other side quests that we can pick up if you want to. They're mainly for rep, but if you just want to focus on the epic, we do the 3 forward one.
Yeah, we'll just focus on the epic. Yep. So, how about Joel has a question. Basically, if stout axe dwarves that are coming are thinner and taller, doesn't that basically just make them the race of men? No, it's going to... They will look different, both from the standard dwarf that's been with us for some time, or the race of men. They will have their own kind of look and feel to them. And that should be coming pretty soon, actually. Someone had asked about when on the expansion, the Minas Morgul content. That's probably going to be some time yet. But I do think we have a Bulwer coming fairly soon that might have a little bit more on some of the system stuff going on, and perhaps even a kind of a first look at the Stout Axe there. But we'll have to see what ends up happening. Stay tuned. But things are they're moving along. I guess I would say that. Perhaps we might even have more to say next week.
Next week? More to say, have you, Master Jedi?
Of course, I just jinxed it. So.
Yeah, don't jinx stuff like that, Jer.
Yeah. Alright, jam the gate. Oh, I need to jam it too.
If it's glowy for you, yes, you do. Yeah, this is one of the things when Northern Mirkwood first came out on the regular servers. How people were concerned because you had to have done all these quests to get to Osgaloth, which is the onboarding point for Northern Mirkwood at the time. And people couldn't get into Garrus Galathon unless they had an active quest that would let them in.
Yeah, thanks, Oogs. We were real happy to be able to bring that this armor out to you.
K-Wolf, sadly there is not going to be Harnkicker this year. Dwaro Scholar didn't himself have the time to organize it, and sadly nobody else had the time to do it. Hopefully next year.
It's a big production. That's no denying.
I mean, it's like a week-long event, for pretty sick.
Yep. I mean, I'm tempted to say, in terms of kind of height and build, it'll be sort of splitting the difference between the race of men and dwarves. But, you know, you'll see it soon enough.
I'd really like if dwarves, regular dwarves had taken Ent Drop.
Oh, thanks, Christopher. Oh, would just a quick sales note, this is the final weekend for double bonus points. So if you've been kind of waiting around for that, perhaps for various reasons, now might be a good time to pick it up. We also, oh, by the way, we also, if you have not yet picked up Mordor, we do have Mordor at 25% off in the Lotro Market. So if you're, don't yet have Mordor and want to get a discount on it, that might be something to keep in mind as well.
Okay, I just have 5 of the riders to kill.
Yep, same. There's one.
We'll find these guys scattered all over the place.
Do I like playing Locho in my free time? I do. I don't play as much as some other people. I do tend to split my time across a whole bunch of different games and stuff. Oh, here's another rider. But at the very least, as a minimum, once a week I get together with a couple of good friends of mine, and we have a kinship night that is a really good time. Let's see, where are we at? I still have 3 of the riders to kill.
Yeah, we just have to go find some.
Yep.
They like to roam all over.
There we go. So there, and especially in the past, let's say 48 hours, has been a fair amount of feedback on the pace that we are releasing things on the legendary worlds. And it's led us to, you know, of course, listen to that feedback and see if maybe there's anything we should be doing about it. Like, for example, perhaps slowing the pace down just a little bit or adjusting the pace slightly. And I don't know. I guess all I could really say about that is you know, we've been listening to your feedback on it. Some folks feel maybe Rise of Isengard got released perhaps a little faster than they would have preferred. So, but there are other people, of course, who feel differently than that. But it's something we've been kind of considering quite a bit, actually, in the last, like I said, about 48 hours, about whether or not we should, you know, consider any changes or whatever. You think the boat sailed already on it? Yeah. You know, you're not the only one with that opinion, but we'll see. We've announced, for example, like we've formally announced 4 months between these, and we've actually kind of been more about 3 months. So we actually, even if we want to kind of hold to our own stated pace, we could actually relax things slightly and still kind of do what we said we were going to do, for, so to speak.
I think, at least from my perspective, 3 months really isn't enough to plumb the depths of the end game rating content of any particular expansion. And, you know, leveling 10 levels versus 5 levels is definitely a bigger ask for the amount of time.
We're heading
Where are you going?
back. I thought we were going back to the boat.
No, we don't have to go back to the boat. That will stay there until we finish.
Oh,
this
I'm sorry, I had
forward.
not. Let's see. Solo quests.
Okay, you should have a red warning about any quest you've not completed in this area will be canceled if you take the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Because what it does is it changes the phase.
Yeah. That should be fine, though, right?
Yeah.
The Golden Host is preparing to bring the first act of their invasion on Mirkwood to a close, with
Have
an
fun.
all-out assault upon the hill overlooking the landing.
Oh yeah, there's a big event at Gondaman on Villagare all weekend.
Right. Gondaman Rock Night is this weekend. That's what's up. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me on that. Basically, my understanding is it's a lot of metal.
And Notenzauber is doing Horror Fest, I think, in November, something like that.
And these are bands from all over the game worlds, so might be something to check out.
Yeah, no, it's Hellfest 2019, November in Saranen, organized by Notenzaber and the Gallic Frogs.
Through the rumor, Slipknot will be there. Well, you'd never know, right? Or are they still not wearing? Are they still wearing masks? I haven't caught up with. I have to admit, my currency on Slipknot is pretty minor. I remember they're from Iowa, which I always thought was kind of fun.
Well, if the Boogans are scheduled to be there, they'll be in masks because they like to state that they actually work for the Eye.
Rock in all varieties. Okay, so not a metal thing. You gotta rock. Hello, Belaguer. Are you ready to rock?
Don't ever do that voice again. I was like, what the hell just invested my Discord?
Normally, if I really want to do it right, I have to be loud, and I don't want to yell into the mic. So I was trying to do it quietly. But I can do it. Yeah. Is anyone surprised that I know how to tell people how to rock? I am very proficient in explaining rock momentum to a large audience, and thus preparing them to engage in rock-related activities.
Yeah, but if you yell that loud, Severlin will be banging on the wall.
Yep.
Wondering what the heck's going on over there. Nice, Nettlebrew, nice.
Yeah. Personally, I prefer the 3 months, but if it's adjusted so it doesn't coincide with the release on regular servers, you would prefer that more. For example, don't release Minas Morgul and Rohan on Legendary together. I hear ya. Hello, Martin on Facebook. I'm never going to be on level cap on this character. Just... it's fine. I will be on level cap when I just make myself a level cap. There aren't enough hours in the day.
Yourself a level cap.
Yeah.
And folks also have to understand that you also are the CM for DDO, and that is also a, it's a full-time job, so.
But I do think one of the pieces of feedback that I saw in that thread that I think I most want to respond to is the long-standing issue, as you kind of mentioned, though, that I'm kind of stuck in the past, as it were, in regard to the content I'm running on the live stream, and I should get myself up to the modern era. So that, I believe, will involve a Valar, which is probably what I'll end up doing here in the near future. That thing's pretty nasty looking.
Oh yeah, it'll be fine. Porlock is talking about the perennial issue of racing to level cap versus taking your time and savoring the experience. There is a lot of games to play. I mean, a certain other game that has old school servers has the same issue. It's like people were, doing the end game raids and whatnot within a week of launch. And that's not my thing, but for those who like it, it's cool.
Yeah, I don't think you ever. I mean, if you're going to work on an MMO, you're going to just have to live with the reality that some people are going to tear through your hard work in like less than a day, and you know, that's just what you got to deal with. Oh man, I'm gonna be killed by this stupid troll. There we go. Thankfully, my Song of Distraction maybe worked. They have had content devs on Blood and Anding's streams recently. Why not here on official streams? That's interesting.
They weren't there officially. They were just hanging out.
And who was that?
That is Pinion.
Okay. I mean, that's fine, I guess. No one told me.
Yeah, it was just an informal hanging out. It wasn't any sort of representing the company or answering questions. Because they know better.
But in terms of when on more dev streams, that's something I too would like to do. And I don't think, you know, the team is necessarily opposed to it, but you do have to consider that this takes place during the workday, and generally during their allotted time for lunch. And they are not required, frankly, to do this. So they got lots of things on their actual development sprints and that, so they might be in the middle of doing X, Y, or Z. And pulling them away to really disrupt their afternoon can be a challenge. That said, I am totally down. As much as I can make that happen, I love doing it. So I was actually thinking fairly soon I would like to get, at the very least, Sev, but, you know, whoever else might make sense there, to talk a little bit about Minas Morgul. Because I know there's at least one big piece of what's coming in Minas Morgul that I don't even think you guys know about yet. So, perhaps we can let the cat out of the bag on that, even before we start doing our more formal promotional campaign.
Yeah, I think folks are super interested in Minas Morgul tidbits and stuff. So Thurla said it was made of lions and Lansing. Lansoon? She might have been hanging out. But yeah, I do remember Made of Lions was hanging out in Andang's chat because he was doing the new stuff in the Vales. So of course, Made of Lions likes to skulk about and watch us.
Yeah, I mean, I know the team watches plenty of, you know, they're regular people just like us.
What?
But yeah, sure, they watch Lotro streams and stuff, and that's fine. But in terms of like a more formal, we sat down to discuss X with Y. I was like, that's news to me. So, you know. Okay, I don't even think I'm damaging that stupid commander.
You should be. But yeah, you really need to let the elves take him, and you get to sit back and ping him once in a while. Made of Lions as a god. But don't say that sort of thing. Get it out of his head. Oh, interestingly enough, while you're trying to not die, one of the folks I got to hang out with at Dragon Con was Sean Copeland, Blizzard's lore master. And I am going to put him in touch with Chris Pearson because he wants to talk to a fellow lore master because he didn't realize that Lotro has a freaking lore master.
That's cool. All right, so that actually, timing-wise, is working out pretty good here. It's a little bit after 1, so I think I'm going to head on out. Do we have a Mr. Olson today?
A Dr. Olson should be here shortly.
A doctor.
He's a doctor, and so is his wife, actually.
Wow.
So Phil Boswell is here to take your lore questions since he was off last week, and it should be a lot of fun.
That's sweet.
So
Yeah, that's great. So, and then you're going to be on, or are you going to be on this afternoon?
yep. For those who want to see ancient content, I will be continuing the Ballad of Bingo Boffin before Maid of Lions Murders Me from Massachusetts.
And you can find the full schedule over on LotroStream. That's twitch.tv/LotroStream. We also have Big Ed Mustafa tonight starting at 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. on Saturday. Red Baron's going to be on. I don't think Stefalo will be on Saturday afternoon, but he probably will be in the near future. Wayward Plain is set for Saturday evening, and then Sunday night is a Balviel. So
Sunday afternoon.
I have 9 p.m. on the schedule. I must need to change that.
Or else, she's been streaming in the early afternoon. She was in chat. If she's still there.
Okay.
Tell us what time her show's
Either
on.
way, I've got the show schedule up here so you can take a look on the screen. If you would give us a follow on Twitch, that means a lot for us as Standing Stone Games. If you want to subscribe to us on YouTube, you'll get these videos in your subscription feed. And if you just want to follow us on Twitter or Facebook to get all the other news and that, we'll have a lot of stream-related material there as well. All right, hope you're having a good time in Lotro. I'll have more next week. Bye-bye, everyone.